We all saw yesterday's news about the layoffs, right? Xbox has gone ahead, and the rumors were out there that there was going to be this big, massive layoffs, and there were a lot of layoffs, just not all Xbox, right? It was Xbox is probably the smallest part of the layoffs that were done, but um, he went ahead and I'm going to focus it to start it on the actual words from them, right? So Phil Spencer and then Matt Booty has one too. So if we go into that, he's literally spells everything out that what essentially we should be looking at and thinking of with this. Um, so if I click here, all right. So this is Phil's message that he put out. He says, "Today we are sharing decisions that will impact colleagues across our organization to position gaming for enduring success and allowing us to focus on strategic growth areas. We will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Out of respect for those impacted today, the specifics of today's notifications and any organizational shifts will be shared by your team leaders in the coming days. I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. Uh, the success we're current I'm sorry, the success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously. We must make choices now for continued success in future years, and a key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential while delivering on the expectations the company has for our business. This focused approach means we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come. Prioritizing our opportunities is essential, but that does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not. This is pretty lengthy. I mean, it's almost done, but I didn't know if we. I'll just continue to forget about it. Prioritizing our opportunities is essential, but that does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not be where we are today without the time, energy, and creativity of those whose roles are impacted. These decisions are not a reflection of the talent, creativity, and dedication of the people involved. Our momentum is not accidental, it is the result of years of dedicated effort from our teams. HR is working directly with impacted employees to provide severance plan benefits aligned with local laws, including pay, healthcare coverage, and job placement, resources to support their transition. Employees whose roles were eliminated are encouraged to explore open positions across Microsoft Gaming, where their applications will be given priority review. Thank you to everyone who has shaped our culture, our products, and our community. We will move forward with deep appreciation and respect for all who have contributed to this journey. All right. And that's from Phil. All right. So, I mean, I think, I think the letter, um, makes sense. The question is, should I get Matt Booties and then read that and then discuss the whole thing, or break it up, talk Phil now,
Yeah,
and then
let's
we'll
read
go
out
into Booties?
booties as well.
Let's get Booties as well. All right. So if
It's
I
pretty
go
short.
here, yeah, it is. Go here, here. Hold on. Be a bitch. That here, over there. All right, here we are. Okay. All right, now we got Matt Booty the Killer. All right, he's not fucking around. He's back in business. He says, following Phil's note, I want to share more about the changes to the studio's business units. We have made the decision to stop development of Perfect Dark and Everwild, as well as wind down several unannounced projects across our portfolio. As part of this, we are closing one of our studios, the initiative. These decisions, along with other changes across our teams, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. We did not make these choices lightly, as each project and team represent years of effort, imagination, and commitment. Our overall portfolio strategy is unchanged. Build games that excite our players, continue to grow our biggest franchises, and create new stories, worlds, and characters. We have more than 40 projects in active development. God damn. Continued momentum on titles shipping this fall, and a strong slate headed into 2026. For those directly affected, we are working closely with HR and studio leadership to provide support, including severance, career transition assistance, and where possible, opportunities to explore roles on other teams. To everyone across our studios, thank you. Your creativity and resilience continue to define who we are. I believe in the strength of our teams and the direction we're taking on the path ahead. I mean, shit is summed up pretty fucking succinctly here. And I know there was the whole big bang, the whole big meltdown. Um, but like at the end of the day, I feel like this all makes sense to me, right? Like Phil going ahead talking about having to shut down games and changes and people are being let go and all this shit. Like one of the things that really stuck out to me, okay, is the part where he mentions the fact that they're in the strongest position they've ever been. He recognizes that, right? Because he knows what's going to happen. Everybody on Twitter is going to say, they just announced they made so much money. How can they do this? Blah, 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 right? So he stops it from before it becomes a thing. I know that this is happening when we've made so much money and we're the best position we've ever been in, right? But again, this decision is not about today, right? The decision is about the future, right? He then says, we are where we are today because of hard choices and decisions that we made in the past to get us here, right? And this new set of decisions that they're making, these new choices that they're making here, are going to set them up for future generations to come, right? Like you got to kind of see like that it makes sense that they have to do what they have to do. Matt Booty bringing in Perfect Dark, Everwild. It's pretty easy to see the situation, right? Like I know uh Perfect Dark and Everwild were both games I was intrigued in, right? But like Perfect Dark and Everwild are all games announced pre Bethesda purchase, let alone the ABK purchase, right? So again, those games were greenlit and made or were being made at a time where there weren't a lot of other games, right? They didn't have this many studios, right? So at that time they needed a lot of games, right? They were very important. And in that time, if you go back to that time and then that's now and we get that announcement that game is canceled, it's like, oh shit, wow, that's a hit. Like how many other games we got left? You know what I'm saying? But when he comes out and says you got Perfect Dark, Everwild canceled, we also have 40 games in active development right now. Like what a huge like difference in time, right? Like we have so much now that's still coming that they can take that critical eye and take a look at what's going on. And I can tell you right now, they didn't take Perfect Dark and Everwild off the table because they thought they had bangers on their hands. that they thought they were going to make this amazing high quality game. I don't think that at all. Um, but I don't want to go too much because I want to hear what you guys think about it, and then I can kind of round out in the back end. But um, demo, what are you kind of like? How did you take this when you heard about the layoffs, and what
Right.
does it mean to you?
Well, man, I did make a video about the layoffs, and I gave my my point of view, and I had to agree with you to an extent, though. I feel like these games were canceled because they didn't meet the quality that they wanted to have in these games. And we said it earlier here during the show that we didn't want another Redfall, and that could
No,
be terrible for Xbox, right? As a brand, and for the credibility as well. So they trying to avoid this at all costs. So heads are gonna roll. Now, I'm not saying, or I'm not defending Xbox in the sense that, okay, let's support Xboxing to, taking people away from the jobs, or yeah, so that Xbox can save money. Those funny thoughts that go through people's minds sometimes. It's not about that. I really feel, and I put it on Xbox, is there, we have to blame it. They had to start development of this game earlier, right? And this is a reality. You had to see this coming earlier. But like we were saying earlier, maybe what they were being shown was right, like something that it was cool. And then when you put the whole thing together, it didn't work. So when you put it into perspective, you got to look at both sides of the coins, right? Because they'd say it here. We're gonna lay off, or we're gonna cut off in places that we think that are not thriving, right? That's one of the first things they did. And a lot of people are saying that some of these games like Perfect Dark were good, but there's even rumors out there that the gameplay was edited and this and that, that it wasn't even like the real thing or something, that it was just something that they put together last
no, that
minute.
came. They came out after and said no, that is it was a real in-engine thing. They actually could play it, but he turns around and says it worked best if you played it exactly how they played it in the demo, but
Exactly.
it still worked around. It's like, no, bitch, that's not
It's
how
like
this shit
that's not
works.
how it's supposed to be, exactly.
Like, are you
So
fucking cracked?
yeah, from a consumer point of view, we also gotta ask these questions, to Xbox. Like, I'm subscribed to Game Pass, so I'm expecting them to give me content constantly. I'm expecting, if I see a game that you show me in a showcase, that this game is coming out, and as a consumer, it's fair for you to feel this way, right? And for people to actually say, like, wakey wakey, I'm waiting for your game. You promised me a game. Where the fuck is it? Because if it's something that we do here, is that we like, we like to say things like this. Okay, like, a game is not coming out. What the hell happened? And where is contraband? Right? We talk about it here all the time with Harky. Where is contraband? And it's like, okay, I'm starting to think that contraband is not even coming out, because they're like, okay, it's been a while. It's been 5 years since they showed contraband. What is it? It couldn't be. I mean, Starfield. How long it took, for Starfield to come out? It took a bunch of years. But look at Starfield. Starfield is like a big, big, huge, humongous games with a lot of mechanics, a lot of places, biomes, things going on at all times. So the scale is different, right? So yeah, as an Xbox fan or as a consumer, you have to ask, like, what the hell is going on? And also, look, this is how capitalism works, guys. Believe it or not, the way that Microsoft became so powerful is by being like this. There is no handouts in capitalism. Like, I live in a capitalist country, and I wouldn't have it any other way, because in here you can earn your keep, right? Survive, but you can also thrive if you really try to. I've been laid off before. I had to tell somebody that, you can come to work tomorrow because literally from higher up came and, you ain't no more, right? I had to do those things, and it's hard. Nobody's happy making this decision. So people saying like, "Oh, Phil Spencer is, hanging out and chilling, smoking a blunt after kicking people out of their jobs." They kidding themselves, because like, you have to be a really piece of shit, a real piece of shit to feel good about having to fire somebody who had kids to feed, who has a certain lifestyle, etc. Right? So I don't think they should be taken in that
There's a
way. It
little
should
bit
be
of an
more like,
echo, is there?
yeah, there's an echo. Is it on me?
I don't hear anything. I hear zero
No, it's
echo
coming from you though. I think
It's
it's coming from
coming
your
from
side,
me.
Simon.
All right, hold on. Let me try
Because
that.
I can hear demo like echoing. I don't
yeah,
know.
twice. Yeah, I heard myself twice too at some point. Yeah.
I just muted it. Did it go away?
Uh, I don't. Yeah, I think so. I sound
All
so
right.
good that I sound twice.
There
You
you
know.
go. You gotta
No,
be
there
heard
it's
twice.
it's there again.
I think it's there. Yeah. I think it's there.
Uh, interesting.
It's on me. It's on me. I don't know. Well, not on me. On. 'Cause I don't have this. Nothing on.
I mean, my thing doesn't show any. My mic
Do
shows
I have
no
an echo?
movement.
I don't think it
No,
has an echo for me.
I
I
think
Oh
don't hear
no,
so.
an
I
I
echo
hear
think
it.
you
for
do.
I hear
anybody.
it. I hear it. I hear it from
Yeah.
me as well.
Yeah.
So,
We both got
IR says
echoes
there's
working.
another mic on demo.
No, this one is completely off right here. But it didn't make a sound. Yeah, it
It's
does.
still doing
It
it.
It
sounds
does. It's still
perfect
doing
to
it.
me, so I don't know what anybody's
You're
talking
not
about.
getting the echo, but we are. That's weird.
I get zero
And
echo.
the chat is saying that they're hearing an echo.
They're hearing an
Yeah, they're
echo.
saying an echo too. How bad is it? Let me hear it. Hold on. Go ahead, talk, demo.
Talk, talk, talk. 1 2
But
1
now
2.
there's no
Test
echo.
it. Now no
Now there's no
echo.
echo.
No echo
Yeah,
now.
now
Yeah.
there's no echo.
You
I don't know if
fix
you're
it,
No
muted
CMoney.
or
echo,
Whatever
something
you
like
bro.
that
do
on
there.
your side, C Money, because
No, I'm
now there's
not.
no echo.
Nothing changed. Literally, that's crazy. I
Really?
just heard it on the stream, and I don't hear echo. So something's happening.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well,
Now no echo. Ryur says okay. So maybe it was just the service having a problem. Um, but yeah, you know what? One thing, real quick, because I hear it a lot, and I heard it on the show earlier, and it. I feel like I get a little triggered by this idea. Um, like it's so in my mind, it's so stupid. Um, like there's this idea that like we are supposed to not defend, quote unquote, defend Microsoft, defend Xbox, and like I don't understand that idea. Somebody wrote on a tweet on one of my tweets, oh, you're gonna defend Microsoft on this or defend Xbox on this, and I was in the show earlier, and
mhm.
somebody was like, don't defend Xbox. They did bad yesterday. And it's like, first of all, who
Yeah.
the fuck do you think I am? There's no defending.
Mhm.
Nobody's defending. No, what we're doing is talking and talking just the reality of what this shit is, right? Because you want to cry on something doesn't mean I'm defending. I don't your stupidity doesn't I don't need to defend against the facts, right? The facts are the facts. This is the facts. What we just read, that's the factual piece of information that exists, right? It's what needed to be done for them to move things forward. It's business. This is not emotional. Now, do again, and I want this to be clear. I think we've let it known, but we 100% our thoughts for all the people that were affected. Sucks big time, bro. Like nobody wants anybody to lose their jobs, right? But I think the biggest disservice that is done is instead of going ahead and looking at the people who are posting online saying, I just lost my job, I'm looking for new opportunities, hit me up. Instead of looking at that, instead of reading that saying, those the fucking Microsoft and Xbox, fuck them. I'm gonna tweet about how much I hate Microsoft and Xbox. How
Yep.
about you save your fucking energy and instead of doing something that does nothing for anyone except make you look stupid because you don't understand that business is business, and the same way you're not crying that a bunch of people are fucking getting fired from UPS, you're still gonna be
Mhm.
fucking smiling when you order something and that fucking package gets delivered by whoever else stood, right? So that whole idea is ignorant and it's stupid that you sit there and cry so much online when you know that is bullshit.
Yep.
What you should be doing is focusing on the people affected. So when you see somebody and you see them say, "Man, I am out. I need anybody have any tips, any any job openings, I'm available. Instead of just scrolling past that shit saying, wow, that sucks, fucking retweet it, right?
Yep.
Retweet it, quote tweet it, put a little note. Check out this guy. He was impacted by the losses. Go ahead and if you're hiring, check it out. Spread to your network, right? Help them. That is showing that you give a fuck about the people who lost their jobs. If you're sitting here talking shit about Xbox and Microsoft because they did their business, what they had to do, you are console warring. And it could be in both directions. Whether you're a PlayStation dude talking shit about Xbox and you're trying to give them smoke, or if you're an Xbox dude trying to fit in, trying to make sure you're in that narrative.
Make sure you align with everybody.
Keeping it real. I give them the smoke. They done fucked up. I'm gonna fuck them up with my smoke. No, you're not fucking anybody up. Microsoft is not flinching. You're a little tiny gnat bothering them with your words, because at the end of the day, they're here for two purposes. One, to make sure that as consumers, we're getting the best products that we can to want to stay on their ecosystem. Why? Because number two, they want to make money. That's all it is about. If you think anything more, you're ridiculous. There is no emotion here. They're not bad or good. There is no adjective that you can add to the company. The company is in business to make money. That's the sole purpose. In order to make money, they offer a service. That is the end point for us, right? We get to choose whether or not we want to partake in that service. If you're telling me that you had 6 games you're excited from Xbox coming out this year, and the fact that they had to let some people go to keep their business going so that they can keep producing the games that you're getting this year and next year and the year after that, you're telling me that we need to get the fuck out? Fuck Microsoft, burn the shit down? Burn the shit down? They let go 9,100 people, or they are letting go 9,100 people in Microsoft, not in Xbox. These people are running out here trying to say, like, I've seen it, I think kind of funny actually, their thing. 9,100 let go from Xbox. Come on, man. Come on. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know it.
Wait, you expect people to have comprehension capability? I'm sorry. What were you thinking?
I don't. And that's why we come here to let them fucking know. All right. Let them fucking know. Right. This is the reality of what it is. At the end of the day, this is something that if you really care about the people, then your feed should be seeking out these people who are affected and quote tweeting them, retweeting them, liking their posts, spreading awareness. That is how you can do it if you really care that much. Everything else is bullshit. Everything else is you hoping that you're going to get a lot of likes and retweets from the hate Xbox train. And you know what? This is what I love. Fucking Xbox. Yo, they're so fucking smart, bro. They said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and drop this news on Wednesday. And people are like, why the fuck would they drop this shit on a Wednesday? How stupid are they? We're going to have the whole week to talk shit about the layoffs. And then they said Thursday morning, good morning, motherfuckers. We got Helldivers dropping on Xbox. And then all of a sudden it goes away. Why? Because it shows you that at the end of the day, everything else is bullshit. Everything else is bullshit. It's always about the games. It's always about
exactly.
Yeah, and this week's a little special, right? Because it's Friday is a big, well, at least in the US, a big national holiday. So really, this would be like dropping it on a Thursday anyway. But either way, and they had that. They knew that was coming. That was absolutely deliberate. They knew that information was coming today, that Helldivers 2 is coming over, and that was gonna soften the blow, as it were. But
facts.
Demo, you good?
And I do.
Yeah,
I do see. Did you talk about Perfect Dark and Everwild?
Yeah. I wanted to say that. Yeah, like As a consumer, you have to ask the questions like where these games are, right? And if they're not delivering, then it's the same thing. So when you go to a restaurant and your plate or your dish is not hot or is not well served, or the person who's serving you the drink or whatever was rude to you, and you go to the manager and be like, oh, what the fuck, like what's going on with this? You know what I mean? It's the same thing because they providing a service, so they expecting certain quality. Now these people, the initiative, for example, they given basically a limited budget, bro, to do whatever the hell they wanted, and they still screw it up and weren't able to like. Come on, you cannot tell me that 7 years is not enough to push a game out, like a game
Facts.
like Perfect Dark. And if we talk about Everwild, don't even get me started because we never knew what that game looked like. So I mean, let's keep it real. That game just dropped. I think it was like 2 trailers, CGI trailers, animations. It looked like cartoons or whatever. Like I don't care. A lot of people were super excited for it. I never got the excitement, but whatever. It's games that we thought that we
Excitement
were
was
gonna.
made up, Hargy.
Right,
In my
right, right.
mind,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
thought
yeah.
that
Yeah,
Everwild might be like the Breath of the Wild for Xbox.
yeah, like a
That's the way I saw it.
Scalebound, like a game that sounds like Scalebound. So people were gonna think that it's like, oh shit, Scalebound, Everwild sounds like fantasy, like you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it kind of blows the. What really pisses me off is that they show these games, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the showcase, and it's like, damn, bro, and that's what they gotta be pissed. And they gotta be like, damn, you showed me the game. I thought it was gonna be ready. We showed in the showcase. I gave you like 10 months, 1 year, so you can polish it and release it, and you still don't have a release date. And then you asking me for more resources and time. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, you know what? It is what it is, man. You're out. And who knows?
There's definitely an
Maybe
echo.
they pick it up from where they left off and they see something in there. But for what I can gather from the situation, it's like, let's erase this shit because it's not gonna be worth it. And this is what they're doing, like you were saying it. They're going to focus on the games and things that they know that they're gonna do well. So imagine this perfect dark. Let's put it this way: comes out, it's broken, full of bugs, another Redfall. It'll make Xbox look even worse, man. And I'm saying it right here.
That's the big
Xbox is
problem,
getting
bro.
cooked because it's not releasing. If they release the game, they were gonna get cooked even worse. So it's better to like cut it off. Now, my only critic in here is like fine about these games and make sure these games are good from the beginning of development cycle. Just don't wait
You
7 years.
can't though. Like
And I know
that's a
though.
like
It's so
that's the hard
crazy.
part. Like you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like how many times
I
have we heard
understand.
stories like the game literally didn't come together until like the last year of development, and it's like a
Yeah.
Hail Mary, and it either landed or it didn't, right?
Yep.
And I think that's the hard part of all this shit. Like, look, I think I mentioned it before, but like we are not back in the day, pre ABK, pre Bethesda, where there was, a limited amount of games that we had coming, right? I do not want them to go ahead and repeat the problems from the past, which are, hey, Redfall is coming out, and I mean, we think it looks good, but we don't really know the full extent of it. And then the game drops, and it's like, well, yeah, some people really liked it, but it left a stain, right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, everybody was really pumped for this game, and it didn't deliver, right? At the end of the day, the games have to deliver, right? Whether the game sells or doesn't sell, at the end of the day, the game has to be really good. It has to hit that bar if it's coming from a first party studio. That's what we expect, right? And again, as much as Perfect Dark looked cool in that trailer, it did. But if that game was going to get into your hands and let you down,
Yep.
which version of this is better? The idea of it coming out and then everybody shits on it and Xbox becomes a joke, and initiative gets shut down anyway because nobody likes their game.
Yep.
Or do we just get ahead, stop the bleeding? Again, these were all games from before they bought Bethesda, before they bought ABK. They gave them a run, man. They gave them a run. For you to think that they would show Perfect Dark last year and then this year haphazardly just cancel it, because what they knew it was shit and they just wanted to show the trailer for it.
Yeah.
No,
No, of
no,
course not.
they gave them a chance to go ahead and come through. They had something put together that they can show. They showed it to us. People liked it. It's like, okay, you have to deliver. Now, guess what? It clearly they didn't get
Didn't work.
there quick enough. Maybe they could have. Maybe they could have. But how many years can you keep saying, well, all right, we're almost there. Give us another year. Give us another 2 years. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, like
Until, yeah.
our strategy is not the same from when we first greenlit you, bro. Like you need to you're either ready to go or
not.
come
or
on,
out.
man, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. And the same shit with Everwild, right? Everwild was fucked up from the beginning because it changed. It was gonna be, listen, let's be clear. Everwild was gonna be trash. Okay. It was gonna be boring as shit. Okay. These motherfuckers wanted you to walk around and just woo-saw shit and then woo. No,
Hug the animals and shit. That wasn't like
yeah,
a like
fucking
the
hug
shit.
animals.
I was
Like,
watching
bitch,
the
this is
trailer.
Xbox, motherfucker. Who you got playing over here? Who wants
Yeah.
to do that, right? My daughter doesn't even want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she needs to slap some shit up. So, the idea that that game was just from the beginning fucked, and then it got retaken over, and new director and all this shit, and it's like, okay, hey, you got to make a game out of this. We need combat. We need some shit in there to make it worthwhile. And then even from that moment, you're already trying to shoehorn new ideas into a game that didn't have this, planned out.
Mhm.
It's a problem, man. It's a problem. And I honestly, I feel like this is kind of like the last remnants of it, because I did see somebody else was talking when I read it, so I didn't jump in, but I forgot who wrote it, but they said, not for nothing, but the zombie game. What the fuck is the game? Why am I blanking?
State of Decay.
State of Decay. State of Decay 3 was also from back then, right? It was also talked about from back then, and it's still kicking, right? They're not canceling it. They're not affected. The studio's not affected, right? So at the end of the day, it's pretty clear that this is about the performance of said studio, right? It's the performance of what they believe that game was going to do and what it was going to be worth, as far as, is it going to hit the bar? Is it going to be good? That's all they need. They can't decide who's going to buy a game and who's not going to buy a game, but they can for sure know that they're making a good quality game. And at the end of the day, they got to do what they got to do. Remember, he did say here that they also took down, like canceled a few other games that were unannounced.
Mhm.
Right? Guess what? Back then, you had to announce it because we needed to know some shit was coming, because there wasn't that many games. Now they don't. Now they can
fake it till you
announce
make
when
it
they
type
feel confident.
situation. Yep.
Exactly. Now they can feel confident. Now they can announce things when they're ready to announce things.
Yeah.
Think about what happened this past showcase, right? I mean, it's a great showcase, right? But it also didn't have like a bunch of their huge big games that we've been waiting for, right? They gave us a lot of new stuff, which was cool, but like they are clearly like, okay, well, some of the stuff we're not quite ready to show, so we're gonna move it on. Maybe next show, maybe next year. We don't know. Why? Because we already have a full slate for this year coming, right? Of bangers. We don't need for them to be like, hey, here's another game coming right now, right? If they need some time, take the time. That's the way I think about it.
I wanna say one last thing though before I let Hargy drop his bars. I know he's probably anxious to go at it, but yeah, like I wanted to say, like, look at the studios that were affected, and where the people have been let go. Is in the areas that didn't perform. Why they didn't have any cuts on Obsidian or something, right? They can't, because they are delivering. They are doing their job. Another part of the team that was gone, that is probably going to be talked about later, is marketing in Europe. Like Xbox got zero marketing in Europe. So what the fuck do you want a marketing team in Europe? You went and they're not doing nothing. If they were doing something, we would get like people saying, "Oh, Xbox is in Europe, Xbox is here, Xbox is," but nobody's talking about that. They're not even, there's people, and I wouldn't call them leeches, but it's almost like, okay, what is your work, and you got to show, right? And I'm not saying that these developers are bad and these people, like, you know what I'm trying to say is, like, we know damn well that there's always somebody at work who's slacking. Let's just there's always somebody at work who's like, oh shit, he done it again. He done fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Every work, every job has that one person, right? And sadly, if you are like that at a job site or something like that, like, things gonna happen, man. You're gonna get laid off. And kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Part of the job, part of the business, man. We carry on, we move on. We got games to play. That's all we gotta be caring about. Like, we talk about this, like, honestly, and like I said it before, I don't really want to talk about layoffs because I'd rather talk about games, because I leave the financial part to the financial experts. But what I'm trying to say here is, man, like, chill. Some games are gonna go, some games are gonna come. At least Xbox got a lot more games with dates, release dates. 25 anniversary is coming. We got a lot of shit going on. We're getting a lot of games in Game Pass. Call of Duty in Game Pass. Make a Break. They just dropped Make a Break Day 1 yesterday. Little Nightmares, the new version.
And it's actually doing real good on Steam, right?
Come on, bro. Like,
Break is doing real good
so
on
I don't.
PC.
I'm getting what I want as a gamer. So, okay, yeah, they did hot layoffs. Okay, we can cry about it a little bit. That's it. Let's move on because it came too late. That's what I'm trying to say. Come on, Harky, kill him.
Let me get my boy Dark and Jelly real quick with that $2 super chat. Appreciate your homie. Says Matt Booty says Xbox is dead from DCG. Yeah. That's a real fucking. Only imagine what he's gonna write.
Somebody call me Echo Flow.
Hargy.
Yeah, the echo is definitely back. It was pretty bad.
I don't hear it at all, which is crazy. Let me see if I hear it. Hargy, when you talk, I also want to throw in the mix here. I don't know if you saw, but what's the name? Contraband has been removed from Xbox's page. So the YouTube channel, the announcement trailer, all that shit gone from the YouTube channel. Contraband.
Interesting. Because that's been announced, so they should have notified us that
But it hasn't been.
Canceled.
It's only one fucking little trailer we had, and it's been like God knows how long.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Real quick before you even say it, it just seems like connecting the dots. I feel like it's just a lot of these games that they were kind of just trying to make happen, right? Remember, Initiative, they built that studio and they're like, all right, here, make this shit. Rare, they already had Sea of Thieves super successful. They're like, hey, try to make something else too, right? And then this one, they're like, hey, let's go. Come on, let's partner with these people. And it's like all this shit is kind of falling apart around because it's like these things from the time where they needed it, right? Like, I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
So, yeah, first, I'm not going to sit here and doom and gloom. I don't understand why every time there's a layoff that it's the worst thing and it's all over and we should all just, throw our Xboxes out or PlayStations out or whatever. Because what, Sony didn't have a layoff? Yeah, they did. How many studios have they closed? Like, whatever. It is what it is. This isn't the end. Just to put it in perspective, they had much larger layoffs the last 2 years. 1,900 or so people were let go at Xbox in 2023. In 2024, this is smaller. It's about 1,000-ish people. Okay. Yes, it's bad. I'm not saying that it's great that people lose their job. I'm not saying that. But it's not like it's, there's somehow this correlation of it's like half of Xbox has just gone away. No. It's 2 games plus some unannounced things that were third-party stuff, and then the potential Zenny game, right? But Zenny Online is still there doing Elder Scrolls, right? So I'm not sure why this is doom and gloom, right? And so some of the stuff you guys already said, I'll get into that. But first, just putting it in perspective, it's 1,000 people out of like 20,000 people that Xbox has running their current environment, right? The division is a lot of people. Okay, so they lost 1,000. All right. That means they're dead. Like, where does this come from? Why is it every time that Microsoft does something, it's the end of the world? Why is it the end of the world? Did the layoffs not happen in other places? Like I'm just not sure why every time it's Microsoft, we have to just say, "Oh, that's it. Ditch everything. We should just shut down this massive publisher that publishes the most games, and we should just all expect that it's going to turn off. And tomorrow they're going to announce how they've shut down the Xbox division after spending $100 billion. Who's that fucking stupid? Calm down. This is not the end. Now, as far as a lot of the little layoffs within all the studios, they said this. Microsoft said this. They're trying to flatten. They want to get rid of middle management. Will that work? I don't know. I don't care. I tend to prefer that. I don't like a lot of red tape. So having extra management layers does nothing for me. Empower the people making the shit. Let them go. Go do your thing. Make sure you get it done. I think that's fine. But again, I'll see if they execute it well, right? That's up to them. I'm not sure how that works at Microsoft because I haven't worked for Microsoft, right? But if that's a plan, that's a plan. And that's a corporate plan. That's not an Xbox plan. And so Phil's like, oh, you want me to do that, Satya? Fine, I will do that. Okay, fine. So what was he supposed to say? No, fuck you, Satya. I'm not going to do it. Like, no, he has no choice. It's his boss. That's what he wants to get done. When the CEO says you will do this, that's what happens. So they're going to do it. Okay, that's going to affect pretty much every studio. You're probably going to hear the X number of people at this studio, X number. They're middle managers that were like, okay, fine. It is what it is. Fine. It sucks. I'm not saying that's great for those people. I'm not saying that. But this is the standard world. Things change. And they're saying, hey, we're going to try a different structure. That will mean some jobs will go away. And they're saying, hey, maybe there are job opportunities elsewhere in the company. Please apply. We're going to give you priority. I know that's all corporate talk. I know it is. It's bullshit. Probably freaking written by AI. Those like letters or whatever they sent out. So fine. I get that. But this is the world. It's not the only company that's had layoffs. This week alone, we've had massive layoffs at other companies. This year, we've had massive layoffs at other companies in the tens of thousands. Right? I'm not seeing this as the singular thing. By the way, I think you came back and unmuted, and therefore I can hear that go.
Really?
Yep. And Demo, you're muted.
I said, stop calling me Echo Flow. It's CMoney's fault.
Yeah. Anyway, so the doom and gloom that I keep hearing, it's like, all right, like the emotion levels of this is too much. Yes, I understand there are layoffs. Layoffs happen across the industry. Am I going to say, oh, EA laid off people? That's it. EA needs to pack it up. They will not be releasing any more games. They're going to shut down. No, get out of here. They're cleaning up what they can to continue the company. It is what it is. This is the way it is. Like, stop. Just stop this emotional bullshit. I'm kind of just done with it. Now, to the games. Everwild, come on. They didn't even know what the game is. And we've heard this over and over. They didn't even know what the game is because they couldn't figure out the game loop. They're like, okay, we think we have an inkling of what the game loop is. How long is it going to take before it comes out? How long have you been working on it? Now, thankfully for them, they have Sea of Thieves, which has been doing stellar, right? So they're kind of covered, which is why you didn't see massive changes there as far as, as far as them laying people off. However, yes, some key people left on their own. Fine. They're also kind of, I don't mean to be mean, they're kind of older. They just are, right? One person was there for 35 plus years. He's been there a long time. Great. Guy's in his mid 50s. It's like, okay, if I start the next game, is that going to put me in my mid 60s before it comes out? Bro, I don't care. I'm out. And at some point, it's really just a question of what's their motivation to keep going, right? They might be at the point where they're like, dude, I've made enough. I can just retire. Or I'm going to try an indie game where maybe I can release something in a couple of years. Fair enough, right? So whatever they want to do, fine, right? But if they were going to do another AAA game, as we know, in the industry today, that means like 6 years. It's like, dude, do I really want to do this when I'm in my 60s? Or am I just kind of done? And unfortunately, you have to start looking at it when you're at that level. At some point, you just say, I don't have the energy for this shit. I'm done. So I don't know what went into that person's head. But if it was me, I'd be like, Yo, if Everwild was supposed to be my swan song and you canceled it, like I'm just done, bro. I'm out. Like I can just go like hang at a beach now and enjoy my retirement. Right? This is a studio head. I'm sure they're already set for life. It doesn't matter, right? It's like, dude, like at some point you just got to think about that for yourself. And you're like, bro, I don't want to do this. Like I'm not gonna start something new, go through all the rigmarole again. Like, yeah, whatever. I'm just done. Let the next person do do their thing, right? So I don't know what the status is with that, but I'm just thinking of it from my perspective. That's kind of where I'd be. It's like, do I have to spend like 8 to 10 years on the next? Oh, dude, no, I'm done. I just want out now. So let them make the decision they want. They're probably emotional right now anyway, right? It's like, oh, you just killed my game. But it's like, dude, you didn't create anything. Like that's unfortunate. Like that game just like the first thing you do in a game, in my opinion, is a game loop. It's got to be a game loop. I don't care about your concept. I need a game loop. It's got to have a game that you can actually play. Otherwise, it's a movie. Go make a movie. No problem. Go make a movie. Not a problem. Go make a movie.
100%.
Right? If you want a game, first thing's got to be, what am I doing in the game? What's my 30-second, 1 minute, 10-minute, 5-minute? What am I doing in that game to make me want to keep playing the game? Right? There's a game loop design that you just have to have. And if that wasn't there, then what the heck were they doing for all this time? It's like what we're hearing this after 5 years, 7 years, you don't have a game. Like, Jesus Christ, really? That just is absurd.
It's rough, man. That's rough.
For a company like Rare, who has made tons of games, dude. Tons of games, right? They've been around since what, like the 80s? Dude, come on. You didn't have a game loop? The other game was a Rare IP called Perfect Dark that was rebooted by the Initiative. Now, the Initiative itself was it was quite a ridiculous concept. It still baffled me that they did this, but they're like, oh, we'll create a studio with a whole bunch of people that all lead studios. And you thought this was going to work? Why? It's like, okay, obviously it didn't, right? The turmoil was obvious. Right? You could see that they're like, well, no, I want to do it this way. It's like, who's the boss? Are you the boss or am I the boss? And, and obviously that failed miserably. And the fact that they had a studio that would make a concept and then hand it off to somebody else was like, all right, cool. So what is your design loop where you have something that's deliverable? Where do I get the next game? And so I was saying, hey, in the June showcase, I expect to see Initiative. Give me the next concept then, right? If you're saying you just give it off to Crystal Dynamics, cool. Where's the next game? It's been a while. When did that CD partnership happen? Quite a while ago. Where's your next game? And if they didn't have a concept that worked, I just can't see how you keep that studio going. It was a very odd concept to begin with to have that studio, but fine. And this is always the tough part about making a new studio. You just never know if it's going to work. So, sorry.
But they tried, though. You know what I'm saying?
They gave it a chance. Microsoft gave it a chance. Xbox gave it a chance. And it just didn't work. And how much money to keep piling into this? Now, from what we're hearing back and forth, that like the trailer we saw last year was a demo, but no, they're like, no, it was actually like in engine and it was a slice, but you could only do it certain ways and it worked. And like, okay. So from if I hear that, you know what I hear? 4 years before that game comes out. Are you kidding me? So wait, you started in 2018. You're not going to release it till 2029? No. It just no. It's just not. It's not viable. Now, if you were to go to Todd Howard and he says, "I need 8 years to make Elder Scrolls," you're like, fine. You know why? He has a record. He has a track record of making games, right? Games that sold like fucking shit tons. Okay, so fine. You give him the time. He has a track record. I can't see that from this studio when you're like, you've never released a goddamn thing. And you're not showing me that it's actually going to work. On top of that, they partnered with CD, who got bought by Embracer, who then had massive layoffs. And you're like, who's left at CD? Are they actually able to execute on this? Is this partially CD can't just do it anymore? Okay, whose fault is that? Sounds like Scalebound with Platinum, doesn't it? It's like, well, we gave you the money. Yeah, but we have to go make somebody else's game first. Why is that my problem? Like, I gave you money. Why? Where's my game? Right? And so now Scalebound 2.0. Everybody's gonna be, oh, but this is the only game I wanted. It's the only game Xbox makes. They don't have 40 projects. No, they only have one. Like, just shut up. Just shut up. Like, yeah, it's cool. I wanted that game too. But am I gonna cry like to the nth degree that this one game? Come on, like how many games are we being fed this year alone?
That's exactly it. Like to be fair, back then at Scalebound time, right, there weren't that many games, right? So it's like the people who were attached to Scalebound, it's like, wow, I got nothing left.
Did anybody cry a river when this happened? Did anybody say, oh, PlayStation? No,
because they knew
dead. It's over. Why are they even continuing operations? They should just shut down. It needs to end. Concord was the biggest failure in gaming history. Did I hear any of that? For all these duplicitous fucks, just fuck off. Stop. Enough. They canceled 2 games that were going nowhere. PlayStation canceled 12 in the last 2 fucking years. Where's the fucking death notes for PlayStation? Just stop. I'm just so done with that. Stop. I like just stop this duplicitous absolute hypocrisy when it comes to Xbox doing anything. They're giving you fucking 40 games. That's in their roadmap. What are the roadmaps for PlayStation? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. That's all they have. What do they have?
Down, triple fuck. That's what they have.
Like, what the fuck? Just seriously.
Hargy is killing them right now.
I'm just so done with this absolute crap.
Yo, Hargy, you had to see the latest article by Christopher Drink.
I don't care.
Did you see it, CMoney?
Whatever.
Which one?
The
blah
Xbox
blah bullshit.
Shortcomings after 10 years, Xbox hasn't accomplished nothing.
How about
like
PlayStation's shortcomings after being fucking useless? The Jim Ryan fuck you all attitude that fucking Jim Ryan destroyed PlayStation and doesn't have any games to show for it. This is the Jim Ryan era. Enjoy. You like what you're seeing? Give me a break.
Did you see they unveiled a little bit more of what the ZeniMax game was?
I gotta tell you,
I can see why that shit is canceled, bro. The
they
project at ZeniMax Online was the third person. Yeah, but you could be impressed by what you see, but what does that mean? It's a third person online looter shooter, not unlike Destiny. In a world where Destiny is falling apart, how the fuck does launching a new Destiny make sense? That's fucking ridiculous. It had a sci-fi noir aesthetic similar to films like Blade Runner and placed a heavy emphasis on vertical movement. I'm sorry, but that does not tickle my fancy, bro.
And the question is,
it don't make sense.
How long have they been doing it? How much longer were they expecting to go before they actually had a product? Right? And you can sniff the Bungie in this. Right? Phil already sniffed, hey, we're gonna buy you again, and you want what? And how long is this thing going? And you want to do what next? You're not worth it. And that's the problem, right? And they're like, what if this game needed another, 3 years, 4 years? It's like, dude, just really, how much more do you pour into it when you're like, hey, Elder Scrolls Online like works, it's working today. Why don't we just say you just keep doing that? Why don't we just say, just keep making
like
that?
How does that make sense? And let's bring this to another fucking little point here. If you're gonna make a fucking sci-fi game, why the fuck would it not be Starfield Online? If you have Elder Scrolls Online,
right? Because you already have that.
Fallout 76. How does it not make sense to make your final tier or your final pillar, that sci-fi game you want to make, a Starfield game?
Give it to me. Man. Give it to me.
Like this shit just makes sense. So, but he did say he did. I don't know if you saw too. I think it was. I know, right? Either Matt or Phil was the one that says they also going to focus on their biggest opportunities. Now you go back to Perfect Dark, And as much as that's a, cult classic, a little fan favorite from the past, I don't think Perfect Dark in this world that we live in today is some crazy IP that the world's gonna be like, wow, Perfect Dark is it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
So
crazy
look, and again, Perfect Dark, yeah, it's a known value, but like, or known IP, but like it never sold to a very high level. And this could have been, the like Tomb Raider equivalent, right? Having to reboot it with the person that did that Tomb Raider reboot. Fair enough, but it just wasn't working, and that's it. Like it's how much money do you keep pouring into this and say, all right, enough? Like this is not working. If Initiative itself were the one doing the work, then at least you'd say, fine, right? Okay, you own this game and you can finish it within X amount of time. With CD, they've already been down this road, right? And it's like, we don't know if they're going to do the work. We don't know what Embracer's role in this is. Embracer keeps telling them that to, cut back. How do we know we're not being impacted and they're trying to do like Tomb Raider on our dime? Right? It's like, well, no, that's not what we paid you for, right? If you want to do that, then let's talk about let's get Tomb Raider.
But that's very true.
But so and that's just the way it is.
What was it? Platinum. That's what Platinum did.
Platinum. That's the scale bound issue is right there. Like Platinum, went and did other people's games, but did not get the one done with Microsoft where they took Microsoft's money and like, okay, we're just gonna shut that down and move on. So I don't know. There's a lot of potential back and forth with that specific one, but the Initiative just always felt real weird to me. This idea of having all these, very high level talents that conflict with each other and try to make a prototype that then they hand off to somebody else. Like, okay. But yeah, so that's gone. Fine, whatever. I'm not gonna like shed a tear over this. I would have liked to see it come out, but again, I am fed with so many fucking games. I don't even know how to play them because I don't have the time. And am I gonna sit here and say, oh, it's not 41? Yeah, I just need to stop playing on Xbox. Get out of here. Get out of here. Like seriously. Get out of here. I'm getting next year Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable on top of all the other things that they have planned, like Clockwork. I don't know if that's coming out next year or the year after. That looks fucking fantastic. You tell me that's not good enough? Like, just stop. There's so much. State of Decay 3 is still there. OD confirmed to still be working. So what the heck? Just stop. Blades confirmed. Like, I'm just done with this whole narrative of everything is always show me those level of games from PlayStation. I told you the game I think is coming out.
Those level,
Saros.
You're going way too far.
Saros.
Just show us some games. Just show us some games from PlayStation at this point. We're not even worried about the levels because there's no levels. There's no fucking games coming out,
dude.
It's
you
fucking
showed.
stupid.
I think it was you who showed the comparison chart, right, of games that came out this year or coming this year. Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation. And PlayStation's got 2 games. Nintendo's already got 8. They still haven't shown us the rest of the year yet. And Xbox has 12 first parties. There's a comparison,
not including all the free games we get from Game Pass,
which again, fucking awesome. I still have Game Pass that just keeps feeding me. Mecha Break just came out. Like it just keeps piling on. I thought I'd gotten my backlog under 100. I'm now at 112 again, just because of the games that came out in the last few weeks.
And then I don't know if you checked out, but they put more in there today.
That's what I mean. I like they just added so many games over the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm back up to 112 games in my backlog.
Yo, the last game that they put, this game they just added it. It's called the Ultimate Chicken Horse. How fucking
I just installed
hilarious! I'm looking at I just turned on my Xbox. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, they just keep adding games, dude. They just keep adding games, and I'm like, okay, so everything is bad because 2 games got canceled. Whatever. I can't deal with this like level of crap anymore. Like
so dramatic.
It also, it also annoys me is this new thing with now we have to check every game. Let's check the pulse of every game. Make sure they're not fucking canceled. Like,
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you fucking think, bro? Like, they didn't come out here to do some. Every game is canceled, guys. No, they said fucking 2 games listed and some unannounced shit. But every article is, well, this game is safe, guys. OD is safe. All right, State of K is safe. Like, bro, we don't need it. We don't need it.
So
man.
look,
My audio's fucked up?
I'm
That's wild.
I understand there's always feelings. And as I was saying on Boom's show yesterday, after 10 days, everybody's going to forget all this shit and they're going to move on to playing the games that keep coming out. And that's just the reality of it, right? So all this hubbub about this is going to be over. And as usual, there will always be Xbox is dead. And the next day, Xbox is dead. And then the next day, Xbox is dead. It's just constant.
Did
But
you
they're
hear the
still
last
here.
one, Hargy? Phil Spencer is gonna retire. That's what they've been rumoring now.
Do they have a succession
retire,
plan?
fire
I'm
him.
sure. But is he retiring anytime soon? I don't know.
No, they already came back. They came already debunked the
they
entire
created those
conversation.
rumors. Yeah.
I mean,
they make up rumors.
57 or something. How old is he? He's in that range, 57, 58, right? He's in that range. So
I think he has like 3-5 years more into
so at some point in his 60s, he's going to retire. Now, is that like, in the next gen, say, comes out next year, is he going to retire immediately? No. He's probably going to stay for a year or two and then make sure everything's good. And then at some point, he's going to, retire. I don't know when that will be.
I mean, they said no time soon. They said it's all made up bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, Microsoft is saying, get the fuck out. Because obviously he's doing everything they want and it's working, right? So
there's no age fucking gap to lead the ship. You know what I'm saying?
So he can decide whenever he wants to.
Well, it's so
but at some point he might just want to, right?
If he's having fun,
great. But
Phil Spencer actually taking the decision and retiring, right? Rather than Phil Spencer is gonna get fired. So people are asking, Phil Spencer to be fired, but they can really tell you why. The reasons why is Phil Spencer?
It's simple because Xbox is doing what they don't want them to do. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's literally
so
it. And it's like,
how come is nobody asking now Hiroki Totoki to retire after they just put Helldivers 2 on Xbox?
I mean, you might start seeing that
who's
because the
running
ponies are starting to cry.
Whatever.
Wow, man.
We'll see how that checks out.
I'm so done with all the negativity. I get so frustrated with this absolute hypocrisy every time. Like, come on. And the next time there's going to be a layoff, because there will be. The next time there's going to be a layoff at Sony, there will be. This always happens, right? We don't hear the scale ups. We only hear about the scale downs, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm sure they're also hiring people in other areas, right? This could also open up capital for other games. We don't know. If contraband is like that, is also pretty far along in far as being due, right? So if that's canceled, it's canceled, right? And,
but think about it.
I mean, but we knew that was another fucking rocky fucking relationship,
right? Contraband. What is it? A heist game, right? That's what they told you. What are we getting? We're getting
behind.
GTA.
Several years behind.
Right. We're getting GTA. Heist games are not as popular as they used to.
Yeah, like you had a hit when it was time for you to hit, bro.
This one by Sega got canceled not too long ago, and I was really looking forward to it. I actually got to try the alpha. It was Hyenas. Hyenas. I don't know if you guys remember Hyenas. That looked dope. I played. I was, oh shit, I like this game. But then when I started playing and I realized it was a heist, I was like, oh shit. And that's it. They canceled. It was a hero shooter with heist. Heist is done. Nobody cares. GTA, that's what you play for heist.
And
GTA.
And there's another game coming called Fair Games.
Oh, yeah.
That has the same kind of look, whatever, right? So
that's another thing.
Where's that going? Nobody seems interested in that at all. So
the reason why I say that we shouldn't be talking that much about these layoffs is because we've been talking about the layoffs for a whole week. These people were celebrating the layoffs when the rumors got to the ears. They already started talking about rumor layoffs. They started tweeting, making videos, yada yada. All of that coming for a whole week. Now the layoffs are here. So what the fuck we got left to talk about? We knew the shit was coming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now I got put on Twitter. I said tomorrow comes. Y'all play Expedition 33. They always said that shit. Tomorrow comes. And what happened? Next day, Helldivers 2. And you know what else is gonna happen? Sony PlayStation is gonna have layoffs too. in a month, in a week, in a year. It's gonna happen.
It's just
Marathon,
normal.
marathon is very
I
shaky
mean,
right
I
now.
expect some
Fair
Bungie layoffs.
games,
I think Fair Games. What is
studios are
that
gonna
studio?
close. Bungie,
Haven.
Bungie might
Haven,
be in
right? Haven.
danger.
I think those
Bungie
two
might
Yeah,
are
be
in
in
Haven's
trouble.
danger.
another
A
one.
great part of it is
Yeah.
in danger
But
of closing down.
they're all everybody, bro. I told you guys from the like for a long time now, man. Every PlayStation studio is on the chopping block. They're all gonna release the next game they're gonna release is gonna decide whether or not they get funded for another game or they go night night. Tell you,
Yeah.
PlayStation is not fucking around. The
So-
only other way is that if they do add this multiplayer strategy sooner rather than later. That is the only way they save their first party. From
Well, so as far as like
a
Bungie,
problem.
if they're banking off a marathon to save them, I mean, they need to do some major work to make that a compelling game. We'll see. Maybe they turn it around, but like, I don't have high hopes for it, unfortunately. Fair Games, I have no hope for. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think that studio survives much longer. That's just my opinion, but whatever. We'll see what happens there. And
There was
I
another game.
assume,
I don't know, Hargy, did you know
Go
about
ahead.
this game that got canceled too?
The Romero one. Yeah,
The
Romero one.
one. Bro,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me
This
ask
is
you a
one of the
question.
unannounced.
Yeah, but let me
That's
ask you
another
something. Let me ask you
thing.
something.
That's another thing,
But-
guys. The culture is changing based on the government that we have now. So before they were trying to hire a bunch of people a certain way, and now that the government is not backing that up, a lot of the cultures are changing. And a lot of the games, people want to bring everything that their feelings into the games, and all of that is gonna be gone. That's another thing, and that's why a lot of these projects
Yeah.
got shut down too. If you take a look of Perfect Dark, look at the character compared to the character that we got in the early games of Perfect Dark. We used to get like some, character with curves. She was like sort of like the cute girl or something. Now, when you look at the trailer, what do we get? Somebody with short hair, doesn't look as as feminine and stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, they are literally changing the culture because of the times that we're leaving, and people are literally not okay with certain things that they were cool before. Everybody's like, okay, why don't we go back to canon? Why don't we go back to like classic and vanilla? Instead of putting all these flavors in here. And that's what I'm trying to say without getting political, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like there's a change.
Well, that's what I
in
was kind
culture
of
as
I
well.
was kind of alluding to that when they talked about the games with their biggest opportunities. And on top of the fact that Perfect Dark doesn't have any real relevance today, right? It's only like us old heads who are pumped for it as far as the name.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like, what the fuck is Perfect Dark, right?
What is it? Perfect?
So on top of that, the look is not something that is what is widely is appealing now to people. You don't know all the decisions that go into this. But the one thing about this game is I have a fucking question, and this is where I need to know. What game has Romero Games made?
None.
that
This is a brand new
is
studio that
fucking
was
fire.
being funded by them. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
I didn't
so
even
what,
know these people
right?
existed, to be
No,
honest.
no, this is a new studio. It's a new studio that was making this game. That's it. I don't think they had anything else. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they had anything else.
But is Romero Studios not like George Romero, like the guy who made the Night of the Living Dead or whatever the fuck that is? Is that am I making that up? John Romero?
Yeah, I think it's that guy, bro.
Maybe I made it up.
The guy with the long hair.
Who didn't somebody wasn't it Romero who made Night of the
Yeah, who
Living
made
Dead?
like horror movies or something. But this is
Yeah.
no, he's a video game developer. Let's see. And Romero, so he was id Software and then Romero Games. Let's see. Romero Games established in
George, forget
2015.
it. Forget
Yeah,
it. George Romero.
It's 2015. And
so it's a 10-year-old studio.
Yeah. And let's see
So
if they
what
had
games have
anything.
they fucking made that would make us so pumped?
Sigil
to,
2. Okay, so they had Gunman Taco Truck, Sigil, Empire of
that?
Sin, Black Room, which was canceled, and then Sigil 2. And then this
Empire
game
Sin was kind of ass.
Yeah, so those are the games they had. So Gunman Taco Truck.
Okay. So this is what I'm
Dangerous
saying, dude. I'm
Dave and the
telling you,
Deserted Pirates Hideout
I'm
HD. It's like, yeah, okay.
dude, I'm telling you, Xbox is looking at shit and it's like, yo, is this shit gonna
So
hit? Is this shit gonna be good?
yeah, and it also just comes down to ability to execute, right? So if this was sort of a AAA budget and they're like, okay, this is your first AAA game and it's just not working. And then, again, like you were saying, some things they needed to say yes to before, and now they just
Yep.
don't, right? Because they have
Yeah, we don't
so
know when
much
these games
first
got
party.
signed.
Yeah, they
Yep.
have so much first party that if you're going to a studio that just doesn't have the like the ability or the
The
credentials to
level.
say yes, we can take this on, you just say, all right, well, it's just not working. And it's difficult to say that with CD. They've had a great track record, but it's not the same CD. It just isn't. Crystal Dynamics has been like totally changed up by Embracer because of financial issues, and that sucks. But it's the same thing with like Bungie. It's not the same Bungie to me, at least. I like, what are they freaking doing? It's not the Halo Bungie. That Bungie's long gone. Same with like BioWare. It's not the same BioWare that made Mass Effect and KOTOR and Jade Empire and all those games. Like, it's just not the same level. It's just they're not there. Like, they've all kind of disbanded, and whatever's left is left. Fair enough, but so I don't know what level of capability this studio has from the games I'm seeing. I'm not seeing like very, AAA level or even AA level. They're much more indie level. And it's like, well, if you're going to give them a good budget, then yeah, delivery becomes a problem. It just does. And so,
Yeah,
like,
they need to
some people
wow
can pull it
you.
off.
They need to wow
Some
you
people
at
can't.
that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you need
so
to hand it to them, and they're just like blowing your mind, like, oh shit, look at what you guys are capable
yeah.
of. Versus like, okay, this
So
doesn't look great.
sad, but what are you gonna do? It is what it is. So they're cutting bait on things that just don't seem to be getting to those milestones. Now I hear a lot of this wishy-washiness of Matt Booty needs to do a better job in managing. Okay, what do you call this?
This is managing. This is
What do you call this?
literally the definition of
Right?
managing,
So
clowns.
is that not what he's supposed to do? Is he like, I'm not getting my results. Sorry, we're just gonna stop this, right? And
Yeah.
so where he sees results, he's like, cool, we'll continue. Where it's like, Undead Labs, for instance, they're seeing the results. Apparently, they're seeing the results, and they're like, okay, cool, we're ready to go with this. It has X number of months left. Fine, we're good to go, right? Whereas he's not seeing the results with this. He's like, no, I can't keep funding a game that's not going to get anywhere. Contraband may be in the same boat, right? Because like that was due years ago, and it has taken extra year. It's like, at some point you just got to cut losses and just like go forward. Well, this is done. You go away. I'm surprised it lasted this long. I would have thought they would just said we've canceled this game a while ago, but either way, so this is another one.
But this is the balance, right? And this is why this is why it pisses me off, because it's like, fam,
Yeah.
They are letting these fucking studios get time. You know what I'm saying? They're not canceling this shit after 2 years or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're letting them fucking cook, and it's like, bitch, you can't cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how long I leave you in the
get to
fucking
some
kitchen,
level, right?
the food still smells like shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna taste it. It doesn't smell right. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
people say there's management issues at Xbox. They don't know how to get, like, what do you want from them? Like, they give the studio like latitude to make the game they want to make, but at some point they also have to see some results from that. And if it's not there, it's not there. It's just like, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening too, because I mean, this is not gonna be the first time that they're gonna be canceling games. This is not gonna be the first studio they close, because they is it like I don't know if you guys follow sports, but if your guy's not running back to and tracking back the ball, he's out. You're getting old, and we need a player to fill the position and play the game the way I want you to play.
We don't care, right? Sports is like the ultimate. We don't care.
Yep.
Do you perform or not? Because we gotta win.
There is no handouts.
We gotta
There's
win,
no like,
right?
oh, I'm gonna let you play because you're a nice guy in the locker room. Like, it's like the question is, can you run and can you kick?
Yeah, can you get the team to win?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like, that is key.
And it sucks,
to all that,
but
right?
that's how capitalism is. Look, I grew up in a communist country filled with handouts. right? In Cuba, right? Of course. That's what I was born. I grew up. It wasn't by personal choice, which is why I'm here in the United States. I'm very blessed. Happy 4th of July, everybody. My card American, my
Oh yeah,
woman
happy
American,
4th.
my consul American, everything American, and me, even my underwear. I don't give a fuck. That's the way I rock. Okay, but that's because I'm grateful because I come from another country in which like people get handouts, like you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay for school, apparently, but you don't get to do shit. And if you get too big, they come knock on your door and be like, "You got too much money, get out." Or go to jail, get beat up, or we take away your shit. You get no freedom. But in here, you got the opportunity to either you
Yep.
become a bum or you become a superstar and a millionaire, right? Like you got two choices. Or you can level up and you can survive. You know what I mean? As well. So what I'm trying to say here, bro, is the fact that they giving handouts and allowing people to stay in positions that they shouldn't be it's not good for business. And that's why
Exactly.
that's how Microsoft became a well-oiled money-making machine by being ruthless and being like, you're not good here. We're cutting you off. And look, sucks. We're tired of saying it that it sucks, but it's the reality. You don't
Yeah.
perform, you get out. Sad, but at the end of the day, I play games. I don't make them. Right? When you go to Walmart, you don't ask the people like, yo, how many chicken die so that I could have wings. You don't give a shit about that. You just go ahead and eat the wings. That's
Yeah.
just how it is. And the same thing goes, like like we've been saying here, a lot of people been getting fired these days. The layoffs are all up in there, bro, all in Twitter. All you have to type is layoffs. Microsoft is one of the people or the companies who hire the most people yearly. So of course they're gonna be the ones who cut off the most people, right? And that's just how it goes. And now AI can do a bunch of shit. What do
Yep.
you think they're gonna do? Right? They're gonna it's happening already. Everybody blaming Microsoft, but when you go to Walmart, I don't even see the cashier anymore. The lady at the register that I used to go through in my local Walmart and say, hi, how you doing? Happy Sunday or whatever. It's not there no more. It's a fucking machine. And I had to do it myself. And that's it. People are being replaced by a machine, and that's a reality that has always been. AI is gonna speed up a lot of like the game development, right? And I mean, is it gonna be good or bad for gaming? I don't know, but the games got too expensive, and they're trying to find solutions. One of the solutions is like less people, more machines, and the sad reality that we're gonna have to live with. But I'm not here to be preoccupied about that. I'm here to play games. Am I getting games? Yeah, I'm
Yep.
good. That's it. That's all I care about. I'm a gamer. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a financial expert. All I care is about the games. It sucks for the people who lost their jobs, but it's happening in every industry, bro. Like I know people who are like um they do musical therapy, right? And a bunch of the hours got cut off because Medicaid or Medicare is not covering that anymore. It is what it is.
The fuck is
Shit
musical
changed.
therapy?
Man, you know, there's a lot
Sit
of
down
things
with
that you don't
fucking
know about
AirPods in
CMoney in
your
this
ear and
world.
just fucking lay down, just
I,
listen to
I
music.
And listen to
but I'm
tunes that you could
saying
listen to at
that
home.
that's just an example of people that I
Right? I don't know.
know, and
Um,
they got the hours cut off, and
Hey, there's
Real,
potentially some viable, benefits from that, I'm sure, but whatever. It is
of
kind of a
course,
weird one,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
But
so the only other
anyways,
thing I
go ahead, sorry.
I do want to I do want to cover this though
Turn
because we
10.
kind of forgot about it. It's just turn 10.
Turn 10.
So turn
Um,
10 was one of the ones that we thought were going to get hit big, and we had a
and
whole
they did,
discussion on it
but they're still
previously. Yeah, they
here.
did. They got 50% of staff. But again, I think what we spoke on the other day on the show, I think that's likely to be what's happening, right? I don't think you get rid of 50% of the staff and expect them to still churn out a game. I think this is now tech and support. Tech and support. They got that engine. They're going to run that engine. They're going to crush that engine, keep it going, and they're going to support Playground. And there's 3 studios over there to make games based off that engine. I think they'll continue to have
Speed
input
them up.
on consoles and all that shit because they have influenced console design and performance in the past. But I honestly, you're hit with 50%. I think that's them saying no more games. Maybe a subset of people who are working on Forza Motorsport, the platform, and then support for the engine and playground.
I don't know that that's entirely the thing, because they had a lot of people, right? So from what we're hearing, we're talking several hundred, right? So they had a lot of people, and like several hundred were let go. So I think the studio was like 400 or 500 people, and they cut it to half that, which is still a AAA level studio, right? That's a lot of people still, right? So they're probably still at 250. That's still a huge studio. And the question is, what the heck were the rest doing, right? Because why do they need that many? But whatever it is, maybe they found a better answer as to how that studio can move forward. But anyways, to the capitalism thing, I think a lot of people equate Wall Street with capitalism. Wall Street is just a construct that we created. Like, capitalism simply is, we choose to do business together. That's it. There's nothing more. That's it. Where the other systems are, the government gets involved. And anytime the government gets involved, well, there's fun things that happen. So, but yeah, I understand the Wall Street thing, because Wall Street looks for, if I'm investing money in you, and I have in a lot of these companies, I expect a return. That's just it, right? I expect a return. And so the company is on the hook to give returns. That's it. And that becomes a problem in certain industries. And I agree with that. I'll leave it at that. Now, Turn 10, I still think they have the ability to create stuff. I do think they have that. So
Doc says, per the internet, Turn 10 Studios has 158 people before the layoffs.
Yeah. So again, I don't know how true that is.
I think on LinkedIn it said 200 to 500.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know how true. So because they haven't put out actual numbers, what we understand is it is quite a large studio, and maybe they flexed them up because they wanted to be able to say, use this as a showcase piece. However, that didn't really work out with the last Forza Motorsport. There were a lot of issues, and I think they're just trying to say, all right, maybe we had too many cooks, and we need to kind of cut it back, and just the people that drive the the actual game to work correctly, those are the people that are left. I don't know.
I just think Horizon fucking destroys motorsport, like in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I think motorsport lives in this platform that they created, and they just add and let people play, as much as they can. And I think every time it's going to be Forza Horizon, the next big thing. Forza 5.
It always seems to
I mean,
be
they
that
kind
way,
of
right?
decimated worlds, right? I mean, like, you're at almost 50 million players, bro, in a fucking car game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what other car game is saying on this one game we got 50 million?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you reconcile that and say, yeah, let's keep funding a new Forza?
Yeah, but I think they still have enough to move forward. The question is, do they basically just say, we are going to take Forza Motorsport and continue to evolve that game, right? Because they said it was kind of like a continuing, I don't want to call it live service, but a continuing platform for motorsport. So maybe that's it. And they're like, hey, we're not making a new game now. We're just continuing with this game. So for the foreseeable future, we don't need the extra people. Let's just fix this and add content to this game. Okay. And, they'll maybe in the future they decide to hire more and do something else. Fair enough. But if that's all they're doing, that's fair then. Like, you don't need that many people anymore, right? So there's a lot of people that are there to get more content in a new game, design a new game, all that, and then also market the new game and publish the new game, all that stuff, right? That's just not needed anymore. So now it's going to be like
Alan
just
Hartman,
4 people.
Wasn't he the head of Turn 10? And then didn't he just step down? Or didn't he just get replaced by the head of Sea of Thieves? He was the studio head or whatever. He's like
What wasn't it like
that dude? That guy from Sea of Thieves is in
or
charge
something
now.
like that. The name that I remember is that, but I don't. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think Alan Hartman was he became like what Matt Booty's role used to be. It was Alan Hartman took over that position, and then now the Sea of Thieves dude took over that position. So Alan Hartman's gone. Maybe he was. It's Craig Duncan is the new head of Xbox Game Studios.
Correct.
But
So,
it
but
was
Dan
Alan Hartman.
Dan Greenwald is head of Turn 10.
Yeah, but Alan
Hartman was formerly
studio
also a
head.
Turn 10 boss.
Yep.
Was promoted to head of
And-
Game Studios in 23 before retiring in 24, and then Craig Duncan took over that role.
So maybe Hartman was the Shield.
Maybe I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was his studio, and magically now he's gone. Craig Duncan's in there, and they turned some stuff down over there. Let me get before we go forward. Let me get my boy Sybil Jack in the building with that $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Says I hope the new ZeniMax IP is just on the back burner until Microsoft settles back down from AI. I think the manpower to have 3 MMOs was too much. ESO 76. So Sybil Jack, yeah, we did talk about that, and we did get some insight into what it was, and it was like a Destiny, Borderlands mixture. A looter shooter with Destiny vibes. Like I just don't think that's viable. It's sci-fi, which is cool, but if you're gonna make a sci-fi online game, I don't know how it wasn't just Starfield. Like it makes too much sense.
And maybe that is something they should consider, but yeah, I like keep the engine running, right? Because Fallout 76 and ESO, they're still viable. They keep working. And people keep playing. So it's like, all right, keep that going. Right. They folded, was it Roundhouse? I think, right? That was one of the 4 that were changed.
I think so.
Was it last year? Right. So I think Roundhouse was folded in to help these folks, right, to continue to keep making those happen. And then Alpha Dog was shut down, and then Arcane Austin, which I don't know what the actual outcome of that was, because I think some of those people are still there. They're just working on Arcane Leon's game. So, but I don't know what ended up happening with that. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, if there is a viability to bring it back, maybe there is, but I think for the foreseeable future, I think they're going to focus on those, keep those working and going. So, I don't know. I don't know. See, the negative
says a lot of Arcane was moved to ZeniMax Online.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's good. That's awesome, right? So they can at least continue to keep working.
Yeah.
Agreed. Right. So,
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I didn't think this was that bad. This could have been worse, right? We kept hearing stupid rumors like Compulsion Games was gonna go away, or Ninja Theory was gonna go. Like,
that's why I hate all that shit, man. Dude, these games, these companies, these studios delivered the quality of game. That's all that matters right now is the quality. Depending on your level, right? Again, Matt Booty broke all this shit down for us, right? And what they expect from certain things. And if you're going in and you know that, Hellblade and South of Midnight, these are games that are meant to keep the art alive, right? Like just go out there and work on something great and amazing. As long as it hits the quality bar that you want, that's all. That's the proof that they have to do, because that's all you can ask for them, right? Is to make high quality stuff. Whatever happens is a whole different ballgame, and I just don't think other places really got to where they needed to be. Also, Call of Duty had some layoffs. I know Halo Studios had a few layoffs. Like these are insignificant. These are not like super crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we did a good job kind of breaking this all down, but I feel like it's just the bullshit goes too far. And I know, like Demo, you said that you don't like talking about the layoffs. Nobody wants to talk about layoffs, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that we need to stop the bullshit that's out there, right? There has to be some fucking sane voice out here that's not sitting here fucking crying every 3 seconds that some shit happens, bro. It's crazy. It's fucking insane.
Like I've been saying with all these layoffs, is like I'm numb to this because it happens every quarter, every fiscal year. You're gonna have layoffs. It's just the way it is, and so I'm just numb to it. Any publicly traded company, this is just kind of the par for the course for those. Private companies don't have this as much. Again, a very normal construct for those who want to work at a private company. Go find a private company. There are plenty of good ones out there. So then you don't have to worry about these kind of things. If you're in a public company, yeah, there's all this rigmarole to make the books look good. It's just the way it is. And I think Microsoft is looking
100%.
to pivot their investment strategy into AI. And with that, they're probably going to hire more over there, add more capability over there. So that is what it is, right? That's the corporate dictate, right? That's what's going to happen. So I don't think they're getting out of gaming in any way, but they're not going to say, hey, let's go spend 500 million on this, or 2 billion on this, or 40 billion buying Take-Two or something like that. I think, as I was saying, just expect the next thing they do will be in something else, because they've had this like pending demand in other strategic areas, including cloud, including AI, that I think will be more the direction they go for the next thing they do. So and I think that's what's happening. I think we're hearing rumors that it's a lot about AI, which will be cloud. They need to have cloud data centers for that. So, but like, it is what it is. I told people, hey, just don't expect the gaming thing next. I think it's going to be elsewhere. That is going to be their strategic investment, because they have this pending demand, and they were all held up with this ABK thing for a while. And they're like, we need to go invest elsewhere too. So
possible. It's possible. I'm still hoping. I'm still holding out. I want to see something. I feel like it's coming. I feel like
it could be.
I feel like it's going to be a big thing, and that's why it's not just here. I feel like it's something that's
possibly. I mean, I don't want a big. To me, the one that I want is Sega, which wouldn't be that big. But
Take-Two.
Like strategically, the right thing
Steam.
Is Steam. It's Valve. It's like the next big obvious one.
Well, after this,
right,
Valve makes the most sense. Can you imagine owning Steam and putting that on your box? That's fucking crazy.
Which takes away yet another narrative. How is Microsoft gonna make money if
Like
they
this
have
bitch
Steam
purchase? That would be fucking hilarious, bro. Yo, what a fucking end game scene that would be, bro. If that were to happen.
Oh my God.
That'd be crazy.